Grow North Farm and Mountain View Farmers Market. Nick Bachman, the Alaska Anchorage Land and Trust, and Keenan Plate, Refugee Agriculture Partnership Program Coordinator. So this session will explore intersections of food health and equity and access. So take it away, guys.
Hey, everybody. Hey, guys. We are being COVID compliant. We actually just live together. So I didn't invite Keenan over.
Good clarification.
Hey, Jody. So we'll share our screen here. And thank you to everybody through this AFMA virtual conference. It's been so fun.
And thanks, Greg, too. Really inspiring to hear the work that you're doing, and so much that I want to talk to you about, but we can, dive into that later. That's why, things like this are so great. Collaboration and learning from each other. That's where the magic really happens. Thanks for the introduction. My name is Keenan, and this is Nick, and we are with Grow North Farm. And today our presentation, we're going to talk about equity, access, and enterprise. So Grow North Farm is an urban farm, a community showcase, and a business incubator located in the heart of Mountain View. So first off, here we go. Again, so my name is Keenan Plate. I'm the Refugee Agriculture Partnership Program Coordinator for the Refugee Assistance and Immigration Services Program, and we are one of the 7 programs of Catholic Social Services here in Anchorage, Alaska.
I'm Nick Bachman. I'm a programs associate with Anchorage Community Land Trust.
Yeah, and we're so excited to be here and thrilled to have the opportunity to share our work with you. And we hope it will encourage you to think creatively about your community and ways you can contribute to make it more equitable and accessible for all. And thank you again to Robbie, Liz, Rachel, and everyone who organized this. It's such a privilege to be able to be here and share this with you guys. So Grow North Farm, to give you an idea of where we're going in the presentation today. So we're going to dive into our organizations a bit. Me with RAIS, the Refugee Assistance and Immigration Services. Nick with ACLT, Anchorage Community Land Trust. I promise you guys will become more familiar with those acronyms as we go on. Then we're going to talk about what is Grow North Farm, and then dive into what we learned after our first season at Grow North Farm last year. And then we'll look ahead to 2020 and things that we are thinking about for this season, and then open it up for questions. Okay, so RAIS, again, is the Refugee Assistance and Immigration Services Program, and we are one of the 7 programs of Catholic Social Services, and we help refugee families adjust to life here in the US. And that includes everything from greeting people at airports when they first arrive, telling people what to do if you see a moose, helping people find their first job, all those things that anyone would need when they would move to a new place. And the focus of our program is on self-sufficiency and community integration, and to really provide those types of instruction in a culturally appropriate way. And one of the ways we accomplish that is through our agriculture program. So you'll see that this picture of Fresh International Gardens was started in 2007 by a UAF cooperative extension agent named Julie Riley, which I'm sure a lot of you guys might know that name. And it was started to focus on job training for a lot of our clients who were coming and to help them learn about customer service skills and dealing with US currency, because all the produce that we grew here, we would sell at farmers markets and then would distribute the income at the end of the season. It was also built to provide alternative employment to folks, maybe some moms who had young kids and weren't able to afford childcare, but they could come to the garden and work and bring their kids with them. Also, maybe for elderly folks who had other barriers to employment, they could come to the garden and work and earn some money. And another great thing about the garden is that agriculture is universal. So a lot of people were able to come from a wide variety of backgrounds from around the world and still come here to Alaska and have something to share, like something that they know how to do, and really they can instruct. Like I learn from these folks every day about different ways to plant potatoes, or how to dry mustard greens, things like that. That knowledge is it's universal, and to be able to bring that to a new place and share that with people is really powerful. So in 2017, we expanded the agriculture program to include cooking classes and nutrition classes. So we'll teach pickling, fermenting classes, and other food preservation techniques. We organize health fairs and field trips for our clients, so really focusing on that community integration aspect of field trips. And then health fairs we use to inform people about healthy living here in the US. And really the purpose of the program is to use agriculture as an avenue to address issues of physical and mental health in refugee populations. So really focusing on a holistic well-being of our clients. So now I'm going to jump into some of the barriers that our clients experience. And these are just things that we learned from folks through the years of working through Fresh International Gardens. So land access was an issue. A lot of people understood how to grow their own food, but they didn't have access to land to do that. A lot of them are living in rental properties here in Anchorage without a large amount of growing space. So then what would you do if you had that problem? You would maybe look to apply for a community garden space, but that is a pretty complex process for a lot of our families. Because that requires some type of computer literacy to find the application, to then email the application, which assumes that you know English, and to be able to do that. A lot of our clients don't have that English literacy nor computer literacy. Transportation is an issue. If you were to get a community garden plot, it'd be nice if it was close to home, because a lot of our clients don't have cars. So then hauling all of your seed potatoes and tools and even your harvest back and forth on the bus is not the most ideal transportation system. And then if they were ready to sell at farmers markets, the permitting and regulations that are required to find a market to vend at and then get your proper permitting is prohibitive for a lot of our families. And again, that's not a typo. I meant to have language on there twice, because that is such a barrier to a lot of folks, is that people just don't know English, and it's hard to navigate through our society without having a good grasp of the language. And then lastly, some financial constraints. A lot of the startup costs, as well as many of you well know, to a farmer's market, you have to buy your tents, your tables, your signs, your produce bins. And even before you get to market, you're having to buy your soil, your seeds and tools. So a lot of these things add up, and through talking to our farmers, we realized that these were issues that they were facing when they wanted to start their own agriculture businesses. But we also recognize that every barrier is an opportunity, and like so many other people in this conference have shared, and Greg before us, creating great community opportunity through addressing barriers in communities. And Grow North Farm is really built out of that opportunity and understanding those barriers to self-sufficiency and enterprise. And we really work to address those barriers through our work. Most of the refugee community lives in Mountain View, which is a neighborhood on the northeast side of Anchorage, and you'll hear more about that soon. And because of much of RAIS's work occurs in Mountain View, we are regular collaborators with ACLT and in a variety of circles, and our allied missions really made that partnership at Grow North Farm a natural fit. So I'm going to pass it back over to Nick to talk more about ACLT.
Cool. Thank you, Keenan, for covering FIG and RAIS and talking about some of these barriers. I do want to say that, Grow North Farm, you go through all of these barriers, and a lot of farmers before Grow North Farm had navigated all of these and found success, but we're still, operating out of a number of different community gardens, and to have this actual space to grow and sell vegetables on site became a really key component of Grow North Farm. So ACLT, I'll move over to the show notes here. So ACLT, we're a small nonprofit that's been operating in Mountain View for over 15 years. We use 4 key tools. Those are real estate, organizing, neighborhood improvements, and small business support to catalyze equity and enterprise in economically vulnerable neighborhoods in Anchorage. So within that work, we are very active in COVID response right now. 2 of our directors are directly involved in part of the Economic Resilience Task Force with the municipality. At the end of this, we're going to post some links. On there will be the Muni's COVID dashboard. I'd really recommend checking that out if you're a small business or any community member that's looking for ways to find support and navigate the situation right now. So let me speak to real estate. Over our history, we've owned 11 properties in Mountain View. Those have been properties that have possibly suffered from blight or disinvestment and have been sitting vacant and looking for a positive community use. We've worked with the community and with developers to find best uses for some of those properties. An example would be an old gas station that became the first credit union in the neighborhood in 20 years, the credit union one on Mountain View Drive. An old furniture warehouse that became the Mountain View Service Center that now hosts 8 nonprofits in office space. Our office used to be a pawn shop that also now hosts art studios, and Grow North Farm previously was a vacant motel and RV operation, and we'll dive a bit more into what we've done there. Within organizing, we worked really closely with the Anchorage, with the Mountain View Community Council to develop the neighborhood plan, the Mountain View neighborhood plan. The photo behind this slide is celebrating the adoption from the assembly of that plan. And we also do neighborhood improvements. A best example of that for this audience would be our work within community garden development. We help develop the community gardens at Refugee, work closely with the Government Hill Commons team, and are actively working with a group in Fairview right now in developing more community gardens. And we also do small business support. So that's with our program called Set Up Shop, another name within the soup here. But that's a comprehensive business program where we offer training, technical assistance, and alternate credit lending to entrepreneurs that are living in or operating in these economically vulnerable neighborhoods in Anchorage. So Mountain View, I know we're talking to an audience from around the state and beyond, so let's just kind of orient people to where this farm is, what the heck we're talking about. Here's Anchorage. Mountain View is a neighborhood on the north side of Anchorage, has about 7,000 residents, and is really celebrated in Anchorage as a community that has community members from a wide variety of cultural backgrounds, global backgrounds, racial backgrounds. In 2017, it was recognized as one of the most diverse census tracts in the United States. And within that, that global heritage and racially diverse heritage has created a really unique arts and culture, food and arts culture in Mountain View and for all of Anchorage. For anyone who's in Anchorage, you've been to the local grocery store, Red Apple, just walking the aisles there, you really get an understanding of what we're talking about with the diversity of peoples in Mountain View. Grow North Farm is located directly on the Mountain View Drive commercial corridor. So it is this great location that is close to a number of residences. It's close to within walking distance of 3 schools, the Boys and Girls Club, the Mountain View Public Library. It really is an urban farm in the heart of this neighborhood. It's on a 2-acre property. We've developed about 3/4 acres for the farming space, and the rest of it is used for events and programming. So there's a photo of John's RV back in 2005. And it took 15 years of, clearing the space, remediating, going through environmental phase 1, seeking positive uses from developers. We activated the space with the Mountain View Farmers Market for 3 years. And then in 2018, after, listening and understanding, we saw this opportunity to develop Grow North Farm and partner with the team at RAIS to make this dream a reality. So let's take a look at, what it was all about. So we have the grow space here. There are 9 different independent operations that operate in the grow space. There are 6 RAIS independent farmers, 2 Set Up Shop alumni, and then the Fresh International Gardens program also has a presence at Grow North Farm. We find that really important because new arrival refugee clients are able to see that pathway to self-sufficiency and toward enterprise, and to understand, if they wanted to, where they could go with an agricultural operation right here in Anchorage. And, just walking from their house to the garden and then selling at the farm stand, which is directly on the site as well.
And this just gets me excited for summer looking at this. I don't know if you guys...
And a cool thing within that, I'll speak to it in a moment about the community showcase, but you'd walked into the farm and 10 different languages were spoken on the farm. So you'd walk in and you just don't know what you're going to be hit with on a given day. Stop by.
Yeah, but what's so neat though, the shared language though is like some form of like broken English though. So we are still able to communicate and figure it out together. But really, I think that kind of helps like the collaborative atmosphere that we have at the farm, is the fact that the shared language is, a broken English, and we're all able to still communicate, but then still, get to celebrate all like that diversity on the farm. I mean, Nick and I are learning new words all the time, and it's a really fun place to be.
And some epic potlucks.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a community showcase. So these are photos from market events and celebratory events last year. I know with COVID, we're really going to be reorganizing and thinking about different ways that we can still find positive uses that are, cognizant of social distancing. And we can touch on that in discussion at the end, and we'll probably touch on that more in this presentation. It's also an incubator space, and this is really, really important to the mission of Grow North Farm. So yes, there are these agricultural operations, but there are also over 20 businesses that made sales at Grow North Farm. That amounted to $35,000 in revenue during this first year. I know to many of the market managers out there, that is not a very impressive number, but for us out the gate in season 1, we're really proud of what was able to be catalyzed on the farm, because a lot of those were first-time sales, and these were people who have graduated from Set Up Shop or have been involved in our programs in one of a number of ways and have found this avenue to trying their business and trying to diversify their business and understand how to make their operation work best for their lives. So some people are going to be trying to have more of a market presence, and we've worked to help them navigate permitting and insurance so that they can be hot food vendors this summer. Other people are really excited about wholesale contracts or the CSA, where that will let them balance time between their other job and being with their family. So it is a place where you can trial your business and understand what's going to work best for you. So I should give Ron a shout out. That's the owner of Callie's Barbecue Callie's Barbecue and Soul Food that you see in the bottom right corner. They started vending at Grow North Farm 3 years ago, and now they have grown their operation and we're prepping to try to be at the state fair this year. Obviously a lot is on hold, but they've been able to see a large amount of growth through the program. So we're gonna take just like the quickest break, and if people have, we see the chat box blowing up. If people want to throw more questions in there, go ahead. We are hoping there's gonna be some time to at least address some of those questions. So quick breather, and then
let us catch our breath.
Let us catch our breath, and then we'll talk about what we've learned in our first year, and look ahead to see where this can grow and how this operation can sustain. All right.
Great. Thanks, guys.
How are we doing? We good?
Maybe, I don't know. How much more time do we have? I need to look at the thing. About maybe 5 more.
All right, we're wrapping it right up. That's great. So what we've learned, a big thing, the key to all of this has been organizing, listening, and responding. We hope we've made it clear that Grow North Farm wasn't just dreamed up out of thin air. Between our teams, there's really over 30 years of experience working in Mountain View, working with community members, understanding where the needs are, and really incrementally addressing those needs till we were ready to confidently develop and make this project happen for real last year. And then collaboration has just been like the name of the game, really. We're working with two different nonprofits that we find so much commonality in this project, and we've been so excited to explore in this winter off season where other collaborators are that could help make this happen. But it's been clear to us time and time again that neither of our organizations could have done this on our own. We really try to play into each other's strengths and understand where our lanes are for success and where to help each other grow. I'll let Keenan take it from there.
Even before, when we were discussing our keys to success, we kind of had to redefine like what success meant for Grow North Farm too. In our first season, that didn't mean, big profits, like huge marketing pushes. Sometimes that meant like hearing from one of the farmers, like that their favorite thing about the farm was the fact that they could go there and practice their English in a supportive environment where they didn't feel pressure to like be able to speak perfectly, or they could be there and just practice and be a part of the community. Or another farmer that said, I love being at Grow North Farm because I can work in my garden and have my kids be there. It's a safe community space. So things like that really helped Nick and I understand, what some of those keys to success to the farm and like what our farmers want out of it or what it means to them, and then really build the farm around that foundation. And then again, collaboration, community effort. We could have spent this entire presentation thanking so many people. A lot of them are on this call. Jody, that means you. I hope you're still listening. But yeah, so many people to thank, and we were just really grateful to be, have the space that can really be a community shared space.
And so a number I love to talk about is that we had over 700 hours of volunteer support donated to the farm. And that was a big part of our roles, really, was, flyers, throwing out emails, making phone calls to get people out to help. And people responded in a huge way.
In May, like the farm was just a big piece, like pile of dirt, but then, this picture in the background was taken like in July, and like that just does not happen without just huge investment from community members and volunteers. Okay, so I'll try to run through this. Looking ahead, and some of the things we're going to be focusing on for 2020 is boosting our SNAP sales on site, really working with our farmers to become registered WIC and FMNP vendors, and to encourage more SNAP dollars spent on site. And then again, addressing COVID, looking ahead into how we can operate if there were no markets and gatherings allowed on site. Really kind of building out our CSA for this year, promoting our farm stand hours, which you guys saw earlier. So that farm stand will be open every day, Monday through Friday from 4 to 7. And we really think that gives us some resiliency through COVID, because we don't always operate in like that large market model, but just like a farm stand every day where, 1 to 2 people could roll up at a time and get their veggies from the farm stand. So we're really excited about promoting that and building it out more this year.
And quickly on the SNAP, we were really excited to be offering 2-for-1 Tuesdays, where we're able to match SNAP dollars as a number of other markets are able to. We're going to just be navigating that within the context of COVID to see how we can make that essentially safest for all communities. But look out for more announcements. Join the mailing list.
Yeah. New opportunities, look out. We're growing lots of new things. Nick talked about, we're growing the Congolese varietal of amaranth called Dodo. We're growing a hibiscus varietal called Roselle from one of our Burmese farmers. One of her favorite dishes is a sour soup. I called it Ching Pao, and through a lot of translation and Google archiving, we found that, this seed is also called Roselle, and you can buy it here. So we'll do lots of experimentation with that. And we have lots of great community partners here. So, our farmers at Grow North Farm, at Seeds of Change, which is a hydroponic lab here in Anchorage that works with at-risk youth, and they're going to work with our farmers to start seeds and take some of our root crops to help develop their fermented goods production. Yeah, and how to get involved. Again, the farm stand, Nick and I are going to be talking about the farm stand until we're blue in the face this year, but Monday through Friday from 4 to 7. We'll pop some links here in the Zoom chat where you can join a mailing list and learn more about our operation. There are many ways to support. Always, like I said, this was our first year of operation, so we're like always have open ears and looking for new experts and collaborators, people who are interested in buying wholesale, and even people who just want to come out and get their hands dirty. You know, we welcome all of it. And yes, thank you so much for like letting us talk about our work. Nick and I could talk about this endlessly, so it's nice to have an audience and when it's not just us two talking about it at our table.
A side chat that he wants to keep.
Thank you, guys.
And let me throw those links in the Zoom